Well, happy holidays! This is Jared with Stampede Blue. This is your Indianapolis Colts post-game wrap. The Colts lost today at home to the Tennessee Titans. The final score is 45 to 26. The Colts are now 7-4, and then obviously are going to be fighting the Tennessee Titans for the AFC title this year. Frankly, the Colts were shorthanded today. Father time, injuries, COVID-19, it all seemed to attack the Colts at once, and the Colts couldn't even get their game rescheduled, even though, and I get it, there were circumstances that kept the NFL from, no. The Colts and Titans are a small market team. Their game doesn't matter to the NFL, and as a result, the NFL wasn't going to reschedule. And if I was CBS and I had the Bucks and the Chiefs on the back burner, I wouldn't reschedule this game either. Make them play it, get it over with, so we could watch the Bucks Chiefs. Right? That's these networks' attitudes. So the reality is that they were never, the Colts were shorthanded on game day. A bunch of guys were inactive. Anthony Costanzo went down with what appears to be an MCL now injury. He's getting an MRI Monday. There isn't really a lot to talk about. The Colts defense looked awful. What are we saying? 13 for 22, 221 yards, a touchdown, sacked only once. Ryan Tannehill did whatever he wanted to do today. As did Derrick Henry, 27 carries, 178 yards, 3 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 4 catches, 98 yards, a touchdown. He is a whole man. And the bottom line is, for the Colts, there are bright spots, but they're just very few and far between. Philip Rivers was 24 for 42 for 295 yards. He did have 2 pretty touchdown throws, one to T.Y., one to Trey Burton. He did have an interception. He was sacked, and frankly, he put the ball at risk. There was a throw late in the game that he made where, although he hit the receiver in the chest, there were 3 defenders closing on that ball. There had to be somebody else open. And I feel like you could pick a play out and say that in every Colts game we've played this year, but probably a little more so for Philip Rivers. He does have a tendency to put the ball at risk. I'm not saying something that's terribly argumentative, right? Jacoby Brissett came in on 4th down and short yardage and goal situations, and he did capitalize. So positively for for Jacoby Brissett and for Philip Rivers that he didn't have to be in the game. But Jacoby Brissett came out and carried the ball like 4 times for 3 yards, or 3 times for 4 yards, 4 times for 3 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But he did fumble the ball, and Philip Rivers did have an interception. We've talked about this before. If you turn the ball over and your opponent doesn't, in a game where they're saying right now the home team wins 51% of games, so effectively COVID-19 has eliminated the home field advantage, right? It used to be about 63% of the time the home team won. This year, 51% of the time. Literally, home field advantage doesn't exist, right? But as a general rule, when the Colts don't have their cornerstone players and they're also shorthanded, it's going to be a tough out. I think them putting up 26 points against this Titan team says a lot about, in addition to that, T.Y. Hilton had a big game, 4 catches for 81 yards. He had a 50-yard reception and a touchdown. Those are not the same play. And then Colts weren't really able to run the ball, but that's because they were behind the whole game and trying to play catch-up. They just fell behind the 8 ball against that. You come in to play Tennessee and you're shorthanded along your defensive line, they're going to run the ball all over you. 6.6 yards a carry says everything you need to know. Even Deontay Foreman, 4 carries for 28 yards. That's 7 yards a carry, right? So the Colts just let yards all game long. They let Tennessee beat them, mostly because there wasn't anybody there to play and stop them anyway. But I did want to point out the maniac, Darius Leonard, 14 tackles, I think 10 solo. I think he had a tackle for loss, a pass defended, a sack. Like, he nobody told him the score to steal someone else's joke, I'm sure. But yeah, I am proud. I'm not proud of the result. I'm proud of the effort. There are a million reasons to be in our own head about the Colts, but this isn't the week or the time. They're just game should have been rescheduled personally because it mattered that much. But now that it's over, it's over. And just let the Colts get healthy. And if we can just cash in goodwill one time, we'll take it on Anthony Costanzo not having being out a long time with a knee injury. This has been Jared with Stampede Blue. This is your Indianapolis Colts post-game wrap. Hey, enjoy the rest of the games this week. We'll see you after next week's games. Go Colts.